Liftoff and the clock has started.
Go!
And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Vobes show with me, Richard Vobes, here on my own at the helm of the Vobes show. Unfortunately, the lovely Julia can't be with us at the moment because, of course, nobody is allowed in my house. No, get back. Please sit down. No, all of you, please. Studio audience, will you please be quiet? We mustn't ruin the illusion. I have been completely on my own all this... No, shush, for goodness sake. And you, Barry, Gary, Larry... and Hillary, is it Hillary? Or some such name, I can't remember. Put that wig away, for goodness sake. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, just me on my own here in the studio, doing my best to keep going after this in this weird prison sentence, in which, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, no one really has checked up on me. I could have been out gallivanting about. However, I would have been pretty much isolated anyway, because I think the powers that be have thought, well, we don't think Richard Vobes is going to stay out on his own. Stay in on his own. We don't think that's going to happen at all. We know what he's like. He's very independent. He's never going to listen to the government. He's not going to obey the law. He's going to stay and do his own thing, isn't he? So therefore, I tell you what we'll do. Let's just take away all the fuel fuel from the petrol station, so he can't go off in that lovely van of his and do another video. That's what they've basically done, and it does seem that still is the case, that people are still queuing up. Perhaps not as much, but they're still queuing up, and that the fuel is still not getting through. I want to know your experience on this fuel situation. This is my penultimate day. Tomorrow is my last day of this stupid imprisonment, and I can tell you, as I get closer to the end day, and of course, look at me, oh yes, full of COVID, aren't I? Full of horrible disease, full of nastiness, the spots and the oozing out of the nose, the dribbling from the mouth, the blood coming out, the corpuscles under the arms, all of that. Yes, that really did happen, didn't it? It was absolutely very wise of the government to ensure that I didn't get out and go anywhere in case I passed on all these nasty diseases, because let's face it, I eat terrible food, I drink, I smoke, I eat too much sugar, I eat as many pizzas and processed food as I can, and I don't take an ounce of exercise, I don't walk anywhere. That's the kind of guy I am, ladies and gentlemen. That's the kind of guy I am. So, of course, it was essential to make sure that I was secured up. My goodness, I can tell you what, you walk up and down, pace up and down Vobes Towers, walk across the acres and acres of land here. Several times I've rowed myself across the lake and picked up one of the horses and galloped around the 15-mile perimeter of my little garden here. And I can tell you, why won't they let me out? What have I done? Yes, it's all madness. But are you somebody, I'm interested in this fuel situation, are you somebody who has been out and filled up your car knowing that, or van or bus or whatever it is you drive, are you somebody who's done that? And if so, how much did you fill up your car? That's what I want to know, is did you think, I'm at the pump, I don't want to do this again, so I'll just fill it right up to the brim and whatever that might be, 50 quid, 100 quid, I don't know what people's tanks are. Or are you somebody who thought, well, actually, look, there's loads of people waiting. If I just put 20 quid in or 30 quid in as a top limit, it means that 2 more cars, if my car takes 100 quid, I don't know if cars do take that amount of money these days, or van, if you can put £100 in to fill it from 0 to that, would you? Or would you have said, actually, I'll put 20 quid in, that means there's 4 other cars, 4 other people could do the same. I'd be interested to know whether you were just somebody who decided to fill up for the sake of it because, you've got loads of things you've got to do with all that petrol and you don't want to have to wait again. Let me know what you would do. Or have you just, like me, I'm in this position now thinking, well, I could go out tomorrow, I could go and do stuff, but actually I'm thinking I better not really go and fill up my van. I haven't managed to do it for the last 10 days, obviously, but I feel almost my public duty not even to try and fill it up. And if anybody wants to see me, I'll either be within walking distance or I won't go. There is, of course, public transport, but let's not be stupid, for goodness sake. Let's not be, I need to get a bicycle. I know John Fox has got a lovely bicycle. I need to get an improved bicycle. I do have a bicycle, but the tyres are like my head, as bald as a coot. I haven't got a bicycle pump. I looked for my bicycle pump not so long ago, a couple of weeks ago, looking for it, couldn't find it. I thought, oh dear, what will I do? So I'll be interested to know what you have done. Michael White says they're limiting to £30 a car. I think that's a sensible thing, personally. Fill up my bicycle tyres, says Alan Sandell. Well done. Bit of free air. Jackie Lowe, good evening to you. Alison O'Brien says, evening. I fuel up my car and put £40 in. That should last me a bit. Now, I don't want to judge anybody. If you're somebody who's doing 500 miles a week, you probably want to put in that petrol at any one time. But is it right to do it in one lump? That's what I'm sort of getting to. Is it right to do it in one lump now when you're in a long queue, or is it right to do it many times? It might mean that you have to queue a few times, but it just means other people, because you don't know what the person behind you, well, I don't know why I'm pointing, but the person behind you might have a very important need other than your, family and friends sort of need. They may have somebody who they've got to get to an operation that the ambulance aren't going to do it, but they've got an appointment and they need to drive 300 miles. And you may be the one in front of them who's filled up with 60 quid's worth of petrol, but don't really need it. And the person behind you who's been queuing just as diligently and patiently as you, but they may need to go the 300 miles to get their disabled child, for example, into a hospital for an operation that's very important, but may not be an emergency. And you could be depriving them. And I'm just giving a scenario. Who knows who's behind you? But I'd be interested to know if you are somebody who has filled up your tank. Henry Agincourt says put £57 in today. No real to queue. I mean, if there's nobody at the petrol station queuing, I guess you can put as much as you jolly well like in because there's nobody desperate for it. And that's fair enough. I have no problem with that. I think I will have to change my name back to Michael Angel, says Michael White. Why is that? You're putting words into my mouth. Clive Waterfall says, tried 3 filling stations today, either closed completely or no petrol. It's interesting. Yeah, now, listen, we have, I postponed the Bold Explorer walk from last Sunday because I was in this this government-mandated lockdown, of which, really and truly, clearly, I'm as healthy as anything, needn't have been in this situation. We should have gone. It was a lovely day. I should have just kept quiet. I've realised now that actually, even though they rang up and said you need to isolate and whatever, I shouldn't have announced it and made it public. I was a fool, complete and utter fool. If I'd have just kept quiet and thought, you know what, I'm okay. I really wasn't in the room for that long. Plus the fact the person who had this PCR test and positive and what have you was nowhere near me. I wasn't infected. I'm not infected. I haven't given it to anybody. There was absolutely no need to have this 10-day of navel gazing. Nasal? No, it's not like an about gazing. And all of that because I've been fine and I wouldn't have passed anything on. Plus the fact we would have been out in the open air. There was a little bit of drizzle at first, but it then turned nice and sunny and it would have been fine and we'd all been healthy. And I could have just stayed slightly remote from everybody. Even if I hadn't told them, I could just say, oh, it's nice to see you, but just stay back. I've got a bit of a nose thing. And then people were going, oh, okay, fair enough, whatever. And I could have done that, and I should have done that. I realise that now, and I think in the future, if any time I get pinged or told to do all this, I'm going to do that. I'm just going to ignore it. And you heard it first there. Obviously, whether I do or not is another kettle of fish. This might all be bluster. But that's what I should have done because, ladies and gentlemen, the weather is not looking good for this Sunday. That's one thing. And we still have this fuel thing. And really and truly, I'm not going to ask people to come along and do a walk with the Bold Explorer and all of that for 3 miles. If people are going to have to queue up to get the fuel, they might need that fuel for something else. So it looks like we're going to cancel and postpone again the walk. The proper announcement will come tomorrow in the Bold Explorer group pages. I will make that decision then, but I think the weather on Saturday is going to be really grim. The ground will be pretty much wet and soggy. Sunday doesn't look that good, although we could have gone ahead, but what with the fuel business, it might sort itself out, but it's pretty unlikely. So what with the army poised to go and deliver it all, I think that it's probably best that we cancel it. And we may postpone it now to the end of October, whatever the last Saturday or Sunday is in there. But I'll worry about that first thing tomorrow morning. It seems a bit daft. Anyway, let's find out who is out there in the Vobosphere. And welcome to the Vobe Show. Lovely to have you on hand. Here we go. Oh, blimey, quite a lot of you. Excuse me. If you've made a comment and it's come up, I will read your name out. If you haven't made a comment, then you're probably there. Oh, what was that? You're there, but I can't see you. And I'm not psychic. So hello to lovely Julia. Thank you very much, Julia, being there. Julia's not feeling very well, she tells me. So please be nice to her. And if you see any problems in the chat, in the live chat, do alert her or me. because looking at a small screen is not so easy, especially when you're not feeling very well. But anyway, thank you, Julia, for all you do. Sean O'Brien says, good evening. Hello to you. Daniel Watkins, nice to see you. Sean James Cameron is here. He's catching up with the Bald Explorer's morning video, which I did a live show about this morning. Lord Jeffrey, nice to see you. Linda Kane, hello, Linda. Thanks for your email earlier, by the way. Robert Brailsford is in twice, apparently. Daniel Watkins. Anna Jones, hello to you. Nice to see you. Mark Burgess has arrived in, which is great to see you. Colonel Crag Ratty, Station Master's Choice. All having good chinwags with one another, which is lovely to see. Kerry Baldwin, hello to you. Good to see you. And Mott Simon is in the house. Andy the Collector, Mr. Mocky. Waltham Walker, good evening to you. It's nice to have you here. Ernie is here. Richard, he says, I think autumn has definitely arrived in Dorset, even though it has been blue skies all day. We've had some blue skies, actually. And I did sit out on my step. And I had a lovely chat with Merlin, who popped by. Obviously, couldn't let him in, but we could sit outside in the sun, respected distances. We could do all that. But really and truly, it was pointless. I made him a cup of tea and brought it out to him. So, aren't I a nice man? So there we go. Who else have we got there? We've got Ron Langley, which is nice to see you. I missed the secret afternoon BE stream. Work got in the way. Wasn't so much secret. I know that sometimes these things don't get notified, and it was done on a bit of a whim, like the previous one. Mainly because sitting here on my own and wondering what the hell I can do and seeing it's a lovely blue sky outside and thinking, oh, I just want to be out there. I just want to be out making videos and exploring and going for a sodding walk would be nice, further than the front door. Although now, of course, I think at the weekend, as soon as Friday comes, I think I'm just going to take myself up over onto the Downs. I'm not going to take the van. Actually, I did go out. I did get into the van today. And I moved it about 6 foot this way and 6 foot that way and started the engine and let it tick over for a few minutes because it's been standing still. So I just moved it a little bit because I think vehicles should be moved and the engine should be turned over. So on Friday, I may take the van out, go round the block and come back just to sort of half charge the battery, but also, as I say, to let the oil get round the system again. It's not good to have it standing still for any length of time. Station Master's Choice is there. Nice to see you. I may have said that already. David Keel, hello to you. Paul Cockrell, Andrew Norris, good to have you in from Croatia. Henry Agincourt, hello to you. Lots of people have joined us, which has been very nice. Alan Sandell, Kathy B, Michael White, we mentioned. Jackie Lowe, we also mentioned earlier. Just scrolling down, Robert Brailsford. Good to see you all. Any more that I haven't mentioned already? Probably quite a few. The G Monster is also there. Simon, I think I mentioned. John B, Elaine Whitlock, Ron Langley, did I mention you? Colonel Cragratty says, while I was in the queue, 40 minutes, a car cut through a side road. I was leaving a gap for access. He pushed in front of me to save joining at the end of 20 queues. Unbelievable. Blimey. Did you get out the car and say something, or were you a bit timid in case they just, produced a knife or something? Yeah, there we are. Welcome to the British queue. Marvellous. John B says, Richard does have an honest face, to be fair. Do I? Henry Agincourt says, ambulances have their own supply. I'm not sure where your info is from. He's talking to Audrey Forbes. Simon says, you're too honest. I am too honest, to be honest with you. And the thing is, that I think that what annoyed me more about this whole lockdown is I had one phone call to check I was in. I had a couple of texts saying, if you need help or whatever, here's the website, and you're helping to not spread the whatever. But I had one phone call, nothing today, and that was yesterday, just to say, we're just, are you okay? Are you still self-isolating? It's like, I wonder what they'd do if I'd said no. I know, I've gone out. I've been out at a party. The weird thing about this whole thing is that at no point did they really ask where I was, because they rang a mobile phone. Now, I was in Suffolk when the offence of being in a room with somebody who tests positive, when that terrible offence happened, I was in Suffolk. And the next day I was in Suffolk the following morning when I was told, oh, by the way, somebody's whatever, tested positive. Oh my God, what have I done? I've been in a room with them. If only I'd known, I would have. Oh, I'm so sorry. What can I do? I must go and commit suicide immediately. Throw myself off the nearest cliff. Is there many cliffs in Suffolk? Anyway, but for all they know, I could have just been touring around for the next week or so, if I had enough fuel, of course, in my van. Nobody said, they just said, oh, you've got to stay at home. They didn't say go home. They just said you've got to stay at home. And, I could have said, well, I should have said, well, I'm in my van and I'm in the middle of a field. What do you want me to do? And they may have then said go home, so I didn't challenge any of it. So there we go. Very decent decision. Go electric, okay, until energy prices soar, says Waltham Walker. Just coming down to catch up with some of the comments. Mr. Mocky, it's secret. I don't know what that's about. Hi, Richard. Only just tuned in. Tracy Murphy, hello to see you. Hello to you. Thank you for popping in. John B says you have a great work ethic, station master's choice. Mr. Mocky says, I get the impression Mr. Vobes has been to Suffolk. Yes, I have been to Suffolk. I may have mentioned it once or twice. I even nudged into Norfolk, to be honest with you. The G-Monster says, whoever said about ambulances having their own supply, they are indeed right. Great. One would assume that they did, because you never see an ambulance waiting at a forecourt to fill up, do you? Just as you don't really see fire engines. That would be, there's a fire. Oh, there's a fire! There's fire! Fire! Fire, Mr. Grimsdale! Fire! We need some petrol! We need some more petrol! No, we don't put petrol on a fire, Pitkin. We don't put petrol on the fire. It'll only make it... No, we need petrol in the fire engine, Mr. Grimsdale. Oh, you don't understand. It would be a hilarious sketch with Norman Wisdom trying to, grapple with the hose and the fuel coming out, catching fire and it going everywhere. Probably quite lethal, actually. Anyway, so what have we got? The Vogue Show says, bless you for mentioning my name, says John B. Bless you, my child, and I, Domini, diddly-do-ni. Do you deny that you ever were here? Ah, yes, I do deny all of that, and I, Denham and I, and whoever else was in here, and witnesses to the murder, I seen it before. Thank you. The Colonel Cragratty says, I did curse when we ended up next to each other in the fuel station, so I had a polite word. His wife was quite rude, replying that it was a mistake. Don't think so. Quite deliberate. Oh, I'm ever so sorry. It was a bit of a mistake. We saw that there was a gap there, and we thought you were letting us in. Oh, really? Really? You think it was... Look, there's 20 cars behind us, mate. Yeah, what do you want, mate? You want to punch up the bracket? No, not really. Did someone mention fire? Fire! Don't panic, Mr. Manring. Don't panic, Mr. Manring. They don't like it up 'em, Mr. Manring. They don't like it up 'em. It's all good fun. It's Dave Allen, says Mr. Mocky. Dave Allen. Oh, yes. I used to like Dave Allen. He was good, wasn't he? Anyway, I get the impression, I've read all that. Right, evening. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we do, in tonight's show, we do have some videos, and we're gonna play the videos throughout the show, because we have videos tonight from David Keel, from Bernie, from Sean James Cameron, from John Fox, and Colonel Cragratty. In no particular order. They're just the order I wrote them down on this bit of old paper. But John Fox says, is it all right if you play my video of me playing the guitar after the show's finished? What? Oh, no, at the end of the show, towards the end of the show, because in the first part of the show, I don't really get to see the show because it's the most boring bit. No, it's because I'm putting the children to bed. And in my house, they sometimes take a while to get them to bed. And so... can you do it a bit later on? I thought, yes, absolutely. The G-Monster says, one of my best friends is a paramedic and they have supplies at the ambulance station. Supplies of what? Best friends or petrol, presumably, or paramedics? I'm sure they have supplies of paramedics. Nice selection tonight, says Mark Burgess. Lisa says, sorry I'm late to the party. Don't worry. It's always nice to have you. And Sensible Paul says, I love it when you see people filling up a plastic bag with petrol. Yes, that is... not a sight that you see very frequently, is it not? And actually, I was speaking to somebody today, and they said, what would happen? What would happen if you're on your way to the petrol station or you're on your way anywhere and you conk out, you run out of petrol. So, you get up one of those jerry cans and you walk up to the petrol station, get in the queue. Would people think, oh, look at this one, hoarding the petrol in the jerry can? No, actually, I just conked out 2 miles up the road there. I have just spent the last hour and a half walking here in my Zimmer frame with a bad back. Thank you very much. And you have the audacity to say that I'm hoarding it? Well, how else will you get it? You're going to hoard it in that bottle until you get your car, aren't you? Well, I'm just going to carry it. It is a convenient and safe way of transporting this petroleum from the petrol station to my stationary vehicle. That is the purpose of it. But of course, he'd never get back to his car, would he? Because I'm sure that somebody would see him carrying what looked like a I would like to do that, actually. I would like to do that. What would be great is to get 20 people with these red and green plastic petrol jerry can things, and have them filled with water and have them walking along. I'd love to do that. That would be hilarious. Just walking along. And in fact, with the lids off, so as they walk, the water is sloshing onto the ground, and just see them trying to find their cars. Now, these people would be elderly people. I would love to get these elderly people, and they're walking, and as they turn, more of this what looks like petrol or diesel is sloshing out onto the street, going, oh, where's my car? Really can't. And then they get to the car, and you're going, oh my God, look at these people. And they're trying to fill up the car, and they can't get the cap off, and they're pouring the petrol, and it seems to seep down the side of the vehicle, and they're missing completely. Oh, and people go, oh no, look, that waste of petrol. Oh, and then of course you're filming all the people. It'd be a bit like a candid camera. It'd be hilarious. Wouldn't that be hilarious? If I had an impromptu theatre company, that's exactly what I would, just to get people's reactions, or to walk around the town, and go into Marks and Sparks, and you go, oh, hello there, I'd like to try on this suit. Do you mind if I try on this suit? And they go, yes, no problem. And you're there, and you've got these 2 great big petrol canisters with you. Could I put these on your desk whilst? And people are going, oh, yeah, no, put them over there. And then interesting to see if anyone nicked them and then put them into their, ran off. Dun 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 dun. Here, boys, we've got some petrol here. Quick, open up the cap, pour it in, and you pour it in. Of course, it's a solution with sugar in it. And that would be hilarious. And boom! Hey, we got some petrol, boys. Oh no, we can't go anywhere. That would be quite amusing, but to somebody like me. Maybe not. You see, that's the stuff that people would just go, we've got to watch this channel. This guy does these practical pranks. People used to do pranks. Do they still do pranks on YouTube? Used to be the big thing, wasn't it? For a long, long time. Used to be pranks were the thing. Every time you go on, there'd be these pranks where people have done some silly things. I haven't seen any of those for a long time. And maybe it's just my algorithm. Oh, there's a thing, isn't it? The algorithm hasn't dished them up. But in the early days of the YouTube, that was, pretty much all it was, is these pranks and car crashes from CCTV on the cars. Does YouTube still do that? Or is that just is that a thing of the past? Have we all moved on? And what is the next phase? If that's how YouTube moves on from everyone was doing pranks and just eating videos where people very large fat people would just sit with pies and cakes and shove it in, and 256,000 people would watch one person shoving food. Does that still happen? Do we still watch people doing that? Is that the sad state of it? Or have we moved on from that? And what's the new fad? What is the new fad that YouTube is about? Is it vlogs and people having cameras at the end of their arms and doing that? Or is it something else? Are people now doing musicals? Wouldn't it be funny if YouTube did go in a bit of a fad like that, and this year People have just started to sing all the time in their videos. Look at this lovely building. It's a lovely building, Georgian in style. Oh, look at the window and the alcove. I like the seal. It's a very window seal type thing, and the lovely little oven inside the fire. That would, is that the thing? Maybe we could set something up. We could set a trend and people would go, oh, look, that's just a bloke talking. I don't like that. I like the ones where they sing. It's so good. And then all the time you have this sort of band trying to follow the presenter or the camera, the YouTuber, the vlogger around. There's this band. Oh, have a look at this lovely building. It's a church. It's a lovely old church. It's a very old church. Yabba bum 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 bum. Very old church. Bum bum bum. There is an edifice. Dum dum. There is an edifice. Dum dum. There, and not over there. It's been stolen. Where did it go? Bum bum. I just don't know. Bum. Maybe that is the way the Bald Explorer should do his videos, and I'm sure the subscribers will rock it. It will absolutely rock it. Oh dear. What have we got? Let's have a look at some of the... Let's look at the old floorboard. Michael and John, 2 points, whereas John and Michael, 3. So it's good luck to you two. Good luck, well done. And bad luck to you. Didn't they do well? Yes. Most are cat... Are they... Ramiboo says that cat videos... I thought cat videos had been done. That's also last decade, isn't it? Isn't cat videos from, the noughties? From 2000 and naughty something? In the 20s, the 2020s, surely there is a new vibe, a new something, isn't there? Are they all singing videos? We had reaction videos, people watching other people's videos. I mean, if that is not the lamest thing, oh, I'm going to watch somebody else's video. Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? Yeah, no. Oh no, look, he just murdered him. Blood. Oh, he's stitching the head back on. That's nice. Stitching the head back. Oh, I didn't know they could do that. Oh, look at that. Oh, it's such a nice little cat. Oh, I can't bear it. But putting a cat in a blender, not a nice idea, is it? I wouldn't do it myself, no. Remember Beadle's about, says Rachel T.S. Ramiboo says about the cats. Mr. Mocky says, always give a Beadle a big hand. Because he's got a missing finger, isn't he? I think he's dead now, isn't he, Jeremy Beadle? The G-Monster says, I find zip-off combat shorts most comfortable. Good for you. I'm not really quite sure what a zip-off combat short is. Is that a short film? Is it short videos? Is it a rip-off... Oh, not rip-off, zip. Oh, sorry, zip-off. Did I say rip-off? And what is a combat I don't know what you're talking about. Prank videos still exist, says Mark Burgess. Oh, it may be that I just don't watch them then. Andy Joy says, well, all the latest people don't panic buy toilet roll again. We just have no fuel to go and buy it. Oh, you might want to buy the toilet roll. As no toilet roll. Don't worry. We can't get to the toilet roll. There is no fuel. It's a good way to stop people from panic buying at the toilet roll counter. Kerry Baldwin says, now it's people taking videos of other people doing wrong things, like parking on double yellow light. Ah, is it? Is that what it is? Oh, look, he's parked in a disabled person's bay. Minty biscuit. I will take a video of that. Yes, I feel holier than now, holier than thou. I should put it on the internet. Look at this terrible person who has parked in the wrong place. Look, he's got one wheel on the curb. Oh, my, calamity. I'm going to put a picture up there on the internet, as if we're all absolute angels and never do a thing wrong ourselves. We're going to... Is that what they're doing? It's absolutely outrageous. Outrageous! John B says something or other to somebody else. Kerry Baldwin says what I've just read. Andy Joy says, well, at least people... Oh, don't panic about toilet rolls. Yeah, thanks. I'm reading these all out of order, aren't I? Silly me. Waltham Walker says, Fran, my partner, says popping zits is the modern trend. Is it what? People are on there going, yeah, look at this. Oh, that's nice, isn't it? By the way, ladies and gentlemen, I forgot to put this up, actually, didn't I? Here we go, Vobes Solo Show. You can give us a call on the show on 0793 4746 790 if you wish to contribute. Tell me what you watch on YouTube. What is the current trend? What is your most favourite, apart from obviously the Bald Explorer and all of that nonsense, but what I'm interested to know, what is very popular now on the Tube of Views? Let me know. Music, parody musicals. Oh, is that what it is? Parody musicals, where you're doing the sound of music, but it's not about the sound of music, it's about the sound of the government. The Labour Party's alive with the sound of music and heckling. Is that the sort of thing? Colonel Cragratty says, the Vobe Show, the new YouTube fad for me is the Vobe Show and the Bald Explorer. Well, of course you'll be up to date with this old-fashioned traditionalist guy, of course. Pimple popping, says the G-Monster. Yes, pimple pop. What people are on there going, yeah, you haven't seen this before, have you? There's a zit. I've always suspected that Richard had a classically... Oh, where's it gone? It's just suddenly vanished. I can't remember. Something classic. I had a classical chin or something. I've lost it. It suddenly jumped. Classically trained. Oh, here we go. Yes, classically trained. So I always suspected Richard was classically trained singing voice. I'm not classically trained at all. Never had a singing lesson. In fact, when I was at school, the teacher, the music teacher, when we had to sing hymns and do things like Jerusalem, you know, and in this land an ancient feet, what he said to me was mime. He said mime. He said, yeah. He said, please, can you just mime the words because you're so out of key? All right, sir, whatever you say, I will obey. I'm not doing Daleks tonight. Kittens and puppies and babies, makeup, unwrapping, lowest common denominators. Yes, I've forgotten the pimple popping. I can't believe I've never seen a pimple popping video. And cleaning out ears. Oh my God, but kittens and puppies and babies and makeup and unwrapping and unboxing and all of that crap. I thought we'd done that. I thought that was, that was ages. I thought that was out of date stuff. The new craze is the world being run by clowns. It's the greatest show on earth, says Michael White, adding a little bit of politics to it. Yes, I think you're probably true. Certainly, I guess there's a lot of these conspiracy theory type things or alternative politics or what's really happening. The truth behind the COVID. The truth of the vax. And you hear all these different things and you go, how do you know it's the truth? I'm prepared to listen, and I do listen to some of this stuff, but I think you've got to have an ounce of intelligence that just goes, wait, this is a bit wacko. And the where you know that somebody is not telling you the truth and where they're saying it's the truth is where they keep telling you it's the truth and they spend too much money on the graphics. If you watch a video, I watched a video the other day, and sometimes when I'm watching videos, I'm doing other things, so I treat it like radio. And they would say something, and this was something to do with, the Great Reset. And they were talking about the Great Reset and going, and politics is going in this direction, and it's going to be terrible for the person on the street. And then there was this great long pause and dramatic music, and eventually I was like, oh, well, what's happening then? I picked up the phone to have a look and see what was going on. And it was just images that had come from one of these libraries of, what do you call it? These production video libraries in which you can just buy pictures of clocks ticking or lambs walking across the field and all of this. And it was just lots and lots of shots of vaccines and needles, and you have no way of qualifying whether that is just stock footage, that was the word I was looking for, whether it's stock footage or really investigative footage or whatever. No way of knowing. And then you get back a bit more dialogue, and they're not really saying anything. Where I think things, so anything that like that, that's all, It's all hyperbole. It's all a bit over the top. It's all not really worth, the more dramatic and the drama of the music and all of that, it's really not worth listening to. Where it's much more worth listening to is where it's just a simple camera and a talking head, and they're talking for, say, half an hour to an hour, and they're not faltering and they're not changing their tune, and you can look them in the eye, and they can't see you, obviously, and you think, hello, this harrowing story sounds, unless they're very good actors and what have you, and they've rehearsed their pieces, they really believe what they're saying. Now, whether it's true or not, it's up to you to sort of discern. But I think those things have more credibility with me than anything that's highly edited. I mean, mainly because I know what goes into editing, and when you see these, clock ticking like this, and somebody's got a needle and it goes in like this. I was watching a clip just earlier with Joe Biden where he publicly had his booster jab shoved into his arm. And I was watching it, he was answering questions, and he seemed for once quite lucid. I was quite surprised. And there he was, they rolled up, and this nurse, who was very rough with him, was pulling his bloody shirt right up like this. And then, and all of the booster jab was laid out like that. And I was watching very, very carefully, and one of them, the Telegraph had it and the Sun had it. And it was just while I was waiting for this show, I was like, oh, what's that other watch? Just for 2 minutes whilst I was setting up. And I watched, and I was very keen to see how quickly that booster jab went in. There was no mucking about. There was no sort of what I would like to have had is a slightly gentle thing going in. It was like, vim, boom, done. And I just thought, did that really happen? That looked too slick. That looked like you hadn't actually put it in him. Now, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, or somebody running a conspiracy. You can watch it for yourself. But I would like somebody who knows about injections and needles and things, and to have a look at that. Anybody who's ever given anybody an injection or put something into you, not the taking of blood, I know that takes a long time, but that was less than a second, boom, and out. And he didn't flinch at all, not a bit. So I just thought, did that really happen? Why did he do it on the telly? Why was that orchestrated so that there was the press there and film? And then, I don't know, I felt really that was really creepy. But do let me know if you've seen that and what you think. Ron Langley says you have 20,000 views already for your singing. Hey, thank you very much. Wouldn't that be amazing? Cats never get boring, so it is apparently Korean YouTube show people doing office work. Can you imagine? Oh, I must watch it. Here, wife, come and have a sit down here. Look, there's people actually sitting in the office doing work like what I did earlier today. It's not what I did earlier today, dear. It's like I have done earlier today. Oh, is it? Is that sure? Station Master's Choice says, Pimples reminds me of my first French study book, Les Adventures of Jean-François. One of the first things I learnt was Monsieur vu avec une butte au bord de neige. And in English, Monsieur, you have just buffed me on the nose. I do not like that, so I am going to introduce you to Madame Guillotine. Oh, Malaluena, it looks like your head has avec your head no more. It has fallen into the basket, and we can have duck à l'orange, or head à l'orange. Anyone for head à l'orange? I don't know what I'm doing. Get back to normal. Self-policing is the way forward, I feel, says John. But yes, I think we're all going to have to go, sorry, I'm a policeman now. Self-policing. There's no one else who seems to be doing the police. The police just seem to be helping people sit down and glue themselves to tarmac at the moment. Hello there. My house is being burgled. Oh, I see. Being burgled, is it? Yes, there's a man with a knife and he's about to stab me if I don't hand over all my jewels. Oh, I see. And what would you like us to do about it? Well, I thought you might come and rescue me because I could be slashed to smithereens at any moment. Oh, I see. So, well, is there any glue in the house? Glue? I'm not sure. I might have an old tube of Bostik. Oh, I see. Is it possible that you could glue yourself to the door? We would love to come along then and help extract you from that situation. But just wait for the knife-wielding maniac to have left. Is that okay? There might not be much left of me, but if there is, what is left, maybe a finger, I could glue that to the door. In a sort of vertical up-way position. Would that suit you? Could be the situation with the police. No idea what we're talking about. One of those Hollywood stunt needles that collapse back into the syringes when pushed into your skin. Yes, that's exactly how it... That's exactly how it appeared. Somebody go and have a look whilst we're on the show. I think The Sun did it. They had a longer version, but the Daily Telegraph had a short... They both just came up in the feed. I mean, I don't subscribe to these things, but it came up and I went, oh, all right, I'll have a quick look. And it was like 29 seconds and then his murmly, burbly, dink-donk. Somebody tell me if that is a genuine thing. Somebody must know. Lisa says it was probably adrenaline to keep him going. Yes, that's true. Because how would we know? I mean, the fact that he says it's a booster jab, but you're absolutely right. That is hilarious. I had my flu jab Saturday and was in and out in seconds, says Ian McCracken. McCracken? Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you know what I mean. You know your name. Michael White says they are supposed to clear the air from the syringe. Yes, aren't they supposed to go like that first before they do that? Maybe they had done that and put it down, but they didn't do it. She just picked it up, went bing, dong, and was out. Colonel Cragratty says, hi, you was, that is, how you say, terrible accent. No one in France ever speaks like this. Not until, that is, they meet up with the Vobes. And then, for years and years, we have a nattering conversation. In this sort of fashion, it is, how you say, rather ridiculous. I'm looking forward to performing some citizens' arrests in the future, says John B. I'm looking forward to hearing what happens. Mr. Mocky says, yes, occasionally watch Her Channel. Who's Her Channel? They did remove the green glue people from the M25 quite quickly on Sunday as they broke the court order. I hope they go to prison for a long time. Citizens' arrests are very dangerous as you can be sued for unlawful imprisonment. Oh. I know most of the film or something, says John B. Most of the whatever. I've given an injection. Slower the better for dental injections, says Linda Kane. There, Linda, go and have a look. Find the YouTube version of the Telegraph. I just put in, I don't know, Telegraph, Joe Biden booster jab, something like that. Go and I suppose I could even find it and put the link up there. I want to know, is that a genuine jab? I want to know. Somebody go and have a look at it. And if you found it, can you do at the Vobe Show so it lights up? Put at the Vobe Show if you found it and had a look. I want to know, would you say in your opinion that is a genuine thing? It just happened so rapid that I thought, is that just for effect? Has he really had it? Does he know something we don't know? Or do they know? Or do they want to give it more and more to him so that it will polish him off quickly? And of course, I'm not saying by any means it was anything wrong, but just in case, you never know. Ian McCracken says, are you allowed out yet, or are you still under lockdown? Ron Langley says, that jab that Biden had was very quick. There you go. Somebody, somebody's deleted his message. Somebody's deleted his message. Oh, Big Brother is there going, you must not tell them. You must not say a word. Keep it a secret. What I should have done is, you must not say it. It's so much better with a bit of reverb, isn't it? I'm not. Are you allowed? Are you allowed? Yes, I'm not allowed out yet. Are you still under lockdown? Apparently, I'm still under lockdown. Linda Kane says, don't know about intramuscular, but they always seem to inject quickly. I mean, what I want to know, because I have as few injections as I possibly can, and I haven't had this one, so I want to know, where does it go? Where does it go? The fluid, does it just go in the arm? I mean, they're not trying to get it into a vein, are they? They're not trying to get it into your blood, because that's a little bit more complicated. just squirting it in, does it just sit under the skin? Does it then just sort of absorb by some form of osmosis? What? No, osmosis. And does they try to get it into the muscle, and then, Ron says, it was me deleting it. I deleted it. Why did you delete it? Big Brother is watching. Oh, I see. You're welcome, John. Community support officers have no real powers of arrest. They just con you into thinking they can. Yeah, they probably have the best power that they have is to fine you. No, not into a vein, into a muscle. Into a muscle, not the bloodstream. But how does it get in the muscle? I mean, just poking it in the muscle, it might just squirt somewhere else. In a vein, I think, says Elaine Whitelock. She looked like she was about to rip his shirt sleeve off. Wasn't she? She was aggressive with him. She was like, yeah, there he is, on the telly. She wasn't having any of that. I'm a nurse. I know what I'm doing. You haven't got it quite high enough in your hairy little pathetic arms, Mr. President. All right, we'll get up there. I wanted to see a massive needle that came out the other side. Audrey Forbes says, when my husband said he had it, it was like the doctor punched him on the arm. He did it so quickly. On the upper arm muscle. Yes, that's where he did it. But he didn't flinch at all. Now, I mean, he's a politician. He's been around a lot, and he can put on a brave face. It looks normal in the video, but he looked really worried. Well, he looks really worried about anything, doesn't he? Unfortunately, he's just worried about, where the hell am I again? Where am I? What am I doing here? My mouth is working. They probably put little motors into his jaw, and somebody somewhere in the back office is doing all the talking business, unless there's a hiccup. Ray of Hope says, you. What do you mean, you? What does that mean? Inject into the muscle, not the bloodstream. You. Hello, you. Nice to see you. How are we doing? Oh, it's nearly time. We better put some videos on, haven't we? We've just been enjoying this rambling nonsense, which has been quite fun. Well, fun for me. I hope it's fun for you. My jab was quick into the muscle, no pain, says Colonel Craig Ratty. I mean, I think that because this is supposed to be, a big thing that we're all having. We're being jabbed to get rid. I say we. I mean, I'm not included in this. I haven't included myself in this, so I'm obviously somewhat removed from the situation. I appreciate that, but I would like a bit more symbolism in there, a little bit more drama, a little bit more. We are going to save the nation with this. We are saving the world. Oh, is that right, dear? Dear, we're saving the world. This is the vaccine. Oh, I want a bit of dry ice. I mean, some of them you had to keep them very cold. Is that still the case with one of them? You had to still keep it very cold, or have they combated that? I haven't really kept up with the core temperature of the local vaccine. I'm not quite sure what it is. But I would like, something, and, like even if it was just one of those big silver dinner plates with the big dome, and you lift that up, and there, with a bit of dry ice coming out on a cushion, is the needle, and they pick it up with big rubber gloves and go, now then, Mr. Langley. Oh, yes. I'm going to give you your life-saving injection. You're doing this for your man and country. What is it they say? King and country. Queen and country. You're doing this for Queen and country. Oh, Queen and country, dear. Nice. Right. Please, will you fold up your arm? But you mean fold up my sleeve? Yes, I mean fold up your sleeve, obviously, you fool. Who can fold up their arm? I can. Yeah. Yes, all right. There's always one, isn't there? No, I can. I can fold my arm up. Yes. All right, you can fold your arm up. Thanks to thalidomide. You've had that magic trick up your sleeve for a long time. Never mind, I want to get on. Right, now then, Mr. Langley. Yes. I'm going to give you the injection which will save Queen and country. It's all going to be marvellous. And then you almost want, somebody on the synth in the background and somebody on those big timpanis. Dum, 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 dum. And you get all that sort of as they pick up the thing, and suddenly the lights drop down, bar one solitary spotlight snapped across, and you're going, and the arm that's there bare looks incredibly white and frail, And there is this massive needle glistening in the sunshine, not the sunshine, in the searchlight that has now come over. And suddenly the room is filled with mysterious people in hard hats. And you're standing there quivering, going, oh my God, it's nothing. No, it's nothing to concern you, Mr. Langley. Nothing to concern you. It's just a little prick. Who are you calling a... Anyway, and then you get that, dun, 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 dun. That's the injection happen. And then you want that sort of, to see the bluish, the electric blue liquid that somehow sparkles as it's being administered in very, very slowly, going through the syringe there. And what was that? What was that tiny little yellow thing? Was it a submarine that had been shrunken down to a miniature with a fantastic journey of people inside going...
Yes, we're inside now. We're inside Mr. Langley's arm. Oh, it's marvellous in here. Right, we can go and repel the horrible disease if we see it.
Dun, 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 dun. Sorry, I was just singing the Snug and Cozy theme music then. It just seemed appropriate. So there we go. Jackie Lowe says, has Eric had his jab? And has he had to isolate in the loft? He's always isolated in the loft. Unfortunately, Eric doesn't get to have a jab. He has a biff. He just gets a biff. Jabs are for, all the rest of the public who want it. But biffs are for those that don't want jabs. Sean James Cameron says, he says, no one would have believed in the last few years that one injection would save the world and be administered by nurses greater than you. Very good. I like that. Give me the next line, please. By the time they have finished, you'll be a human pincushion. Yes, I know. This is going to be everywhere. Well, of course, it'll be just like when you go to... What's that science where they stick all those needles into acupuncture? Is it acupuncture? It'll be basically acupuncture. You just go to an acupuncturist and go, yes, it's 500 needles. Sorry, they're usually Chinese people. Oh, it's 500 needles today, Mr. Langley. 500 needles? Oh, yeah, we have a booster jab 501. You must have it. Of course, you have all the other jabs still in you. Yes, I have all the other jabs. Oh, super. Oh, no. Oh, 327 have fallen out. Has it really? Yeah, very bad, very, very bad. Oh, no, you must have 327 a second time. I don't want it a second time. I can't sit down and watch the television. I watch this Vogue bloke, and it's so funny because he doesn't have any of the pins on him at all. It's amazing. He just looks like an ordinary human being, whereas I'm just like some human pin cushion. It's oh, shut your face. I've suddenly gone Italian. We know what we're doing. And probably upset a load of people now, and I shall be closed down, which might be a relief, really. We're into 9 o'clock. We're very close, and I've got all these videos to show you. It's all good stuff. It's like Del Boy at the dentist. Michael White says, yes, I've read that. Poor you, Kerry. Human pincushion, LOL. Rubbery accent, says Mr. Mocky. Biden got a plaster. Yeah, and she didn't. Did you not get a plaster, Linda Kane? I should write to your MP. Dear MP, Linda Kane here in my leathers and chains. You may remember you visited my chamber once. Anyway, I never got a plaster when I came and had that blasted injection. I object to the injection not having a plaster. Please, would you make sure I get a plaster the very next time I come in, or I will not get my whip out and lash you, which of course I am famed for, as advertised on the Vobes show. Sorry to hear that, Linda. That's a bit of a shame thing. Oh, wait a minute, we've got the second part of the script. So for it to come about has indeed, and I and many men may have foreseen the jabs, blinded our minds. These germs of diseases have taken all of humanity since the beginning of the pandemic. Yes, where's Richard Burton when you want him? No one would have believed. Plaster is a waste and not necessary, says Linda Kane. Oh.
You don't need a plaster when you're as brave as me. I am the new brave
person. I can't think of the word. Who's the word of those? I've lost it now. What are those women that dress up in all that leather and have chains and things? and you go in as a submissive little school person or a baby wrapped up and you're going, I am not a mistress, is it? It's what do they call them? Anyway, I'm not saying at all that Linda is anything like that. She's a very lovely person. Please ignore anything I say. And anything, you know, this show, anybody mentioned in this show, it's all mentioned by accident and mistake. What is it they say in the novels at the beginning of books? Any persons mentioned in this book has no bearing whatsoever to any living person outside this room. It's all something. Miss Whiplash, says Sean James Cameron. I once interviewed her. A lollipop would have been better. Yes, a dominatrix. Thank you very much, G-Monster. Yes, a dominatrix. There we go. Didn't you got, at least with polio, you got a sugar cube, didn't you? Rachel says, I didn't get a plaster either, or a sticker for that matter. Not even a sticker.
I want a sticker, please. Could I have a sticker to say that I've had to inject? Oh, I got a sticker. Look, I got a nice smiley face sticker. Oh, it says, you're going to live forever. I'm going to live forever. Fame.
Something like that. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we must stop this hilarity before we have some absolutely corker videos to show you. Ah, dear. Linda Kane says, I wanted a sticker. I wanted one. I never got a sticker. It's outrageous. I don't need a plaster. Keep your sodding plasters. I don't need a plaster. Who do you think I am? I am Linda Kane. Sorry. I am Linda Kane. There is going to be a video. Mr. Vobes is going to make a video all about me. It's going to be at the cinema. It's going to be bigger than Bond. Yes, bigger than Bond. Kane. The Kane Files. Bit like the Ipcris file, but with Linda Kane in half light, and all you ever see is one leathered leg. Yes, and everybody else has a withered look. Oh, Linda. Get back. Give me my sticker, for goodness sake. I want a sticker. Dear, oh dear. Right, the polio medication was given on a sugar cube. Yes, there we go. Well, it would have been nice, wouldn't it? Michael White says, I saw an image of the great Linda Kane on Sean James Cameron's video. Yes, poor old Linda. She is one of these people who doesn't like to be photographed. She is a legend. Nobody really knows if she's true, real, or whatever. It's just like, but I have actually met her in the flesh, and I've been round her house, and I know she's got every book on Sussex you could possibly think of. I want to know how you found out about the fetish. She says, well, when you were making that cup of tea, Linda, I happened to just open one of the boudoir doors, and there, I saw the dungeon and everything. It was just in a flash, and I thought, oh my God, and the little winky camera going,
Yeah, we know who you are now, Mr. Vobes. We know.
And I promised, at that moment, I would never say a word. Your secret is safe with me, Linda. Absolutely safe with me. How much does the sticker company make, Mark Burgess asked? Well, obviously not enough, because Linda didn't get her sticker, so presumably other people didn't get a sticker. There's loads of people, disgruntled pensioners, going around going, well, I never got a sticker. Did you get a sticker? No, I didn't get a sticker. No, I wanted a sticker. It would have been nice just to have had a sticker. I mean, there we are. We're doing it for King and Country. Queen and Country, and it would have been just nice to add a sticker. I mean, look, they've got a plaster. They've sissy old plaster. You've got a sissy plaster. It needs a plaster. I wanted a sticker. Just wanted a sticker. I don't need a certificate. I don't need a metal cup. I don't need to be bowed down by the Queen. My husband, who's no longer with me, and I would like to say a big thank you to you. I knight you, Sir Injected Person 4572. Ding. Sean James Cameron says, do you have to collect the stickers with every jab and put them in the book? They're like Green Shield stamps. That's what they are. When you get a book of about 1,000 of them, you can actually get your life back, apparently. Ron Langley says, I will have a look at the video. The G-Monster says, my partner, Julie, has long leather boots. Well, that's very nice. But how long are they? I've been waiting for some leather boots. I've been waiting a long time, but they never came. John B says, all done in the best possible taste. Absolutely. Good old Kenny Everett. Right, ladies and gentlemen, it's 9 o'clock on the dot here. Time to get a little bit more serious, as we have some fantastic videos. People have sent them in, so let's settle down now for the last half an hour and watch some. It's like, Wednesday night at the movies. Screen test with Rod, what's his name? Rod, oh, for goodness sake, on screen test with Michael Rod. Was it Michael Rod? Yeah, Michael Rod, there we go. I nearly thought Rod Hull then. Something like that. Right, we're going to kick off with David Keel. Remember David Keel? He took us on his day out, and he's going to start this time over at the thing that's on the tip. I wish I'd written that down now. The place, well, it's on the thing anyway. David, it's a lovely place. I've been there and videoed in there. The what's the name? You'll recognise it. David Keel, ladies and gentlemen.
There's a nice footpath that goes down that way. I've only walked about 100 yards of it and then I came back, but if you just walk about 100 yards it's all open fields and you can actually make your way to Hanukkah Windmill from here, so that's nice. I'm inside Boxgrove Priory. Yeah. It's like a miniature cathedral in here. I've just seen this seat that's been carved out of a tree. It's inside a churchyard. There it is. There's a lovely old church through there. And I'm just parked next to this field. So this is a lovely place to come and stop at. And it's about 5 miles from where I live. Here's the last bit of filming before I reach Bognor Regis. It's about a mile from Bognor. And you've got some of these lovely things. What are they? Oh, sorry, bulrushes. Yeah, that's it. I forgot the name of them. Oh dear. It's a lovely road to drive down. It's an alternative route to Chichester eventually. If I'll just zoom in. Those hills, that's part of Kingley Vale. Near Stoughton, where Richard and Julia were the other day. And those hills over there are from Goodwood. Yeah, it's a lovely peaceful road. I'll just zoom back in. I'm really pleased I got this phone. Yeah, I don't know how much editing I'll be able to do on it, but I'll try and just make it all into 1 or 2 videos. Okay, thanks for watching, and yeah, bye.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, David. Very relaxing and interesting to see some of that locality around the Bognor area, although not quite in Bognor, as you see. And it's nice to see the hills from a different position. A beautiful Boxgrove Priory. That was I knew the word, but I just couldn't find it when I was trying to give the introduction. Brilliant stuff. Love that. That was great. It's gone down well with everybody, which is lovely. Do go out again and give us another day out next time you go out with your amazing phone and the stabilization, which always drives me mad how marvelous these phones are for making videos these days. Bernie is next up on our list, and he is still and very entertainingly at Sedelscombe. This is part 3. Bernie?
Look at these lovely roses here. I don't want to disturb the residents. And that's an interesting... They call it Kester House. I don't know whether that's meant to be a feather or an old blacksmith's implement. But there's the bridge garage. It could well be on the side of an old forge. I know behind it there was a watermill which ground corn until about 1790, when it was replaced by a gunpowder works, which supposedly made the finest gunpowder in Europe. But there was a nasty accident about 3 or 4 years after it opened, when there was a huge explosion, and I think 4 people got killed. But it just goes to show you all the different types of industry that used to go on here. I'm going to move on now to the actual subject of this film, the bridge. And I just spotted this little beauty tucked in beside the garage there. The old thatch house. And there is the date on the wall, 1509. Definitely one of the oldest houses in Sedelscombe, and one of very, very few that has the thatch roof. Put that on your chocolate box at Christmas. And just in case you didn't know that it was here, these are the River Bridge cottages, which lead on to the bridge itself. But that's the entrance to the Pestalozzi village, named after a Swiss gentleman called Johann Pestalozzi, and they bring them here to go to college and study for something that they call the International Baccalaureate. They start here for their higher education, and then they move across to Wales. Now, I'm standing on the bridge designed by John Catt in the 19th century, and this is Sedelscombe Bridge. There's a drainage hole there, and a set of steps going down, which might just indicate, or it certainly shows how narrow the river had got by then. And I'm looking to see if there's a stone here. No, there's not a commemorative stone. That's a pretty solid construction though when you look at it, but it now funnels the river. Although you can see evidence, you see the banks on either side, which suggests that at one time the river was higher and wider here, at what is a very lovely sunrise over a peaceful village green. This is typical English rural scene. We're only, what, 7 miles from Hastings?
And there he is, finishing with a beautiful sunrise. I assume it was a sunrise, looking very lovely. Thank you very much, Bernie. Fascinating stuff, looking at the stream there with the steps and, of course, everything else in your video. Fascinating place. Right, we have no time to dilly-dally on this last half an hour stretch or 20-minute stretch before the end of the show, for we have 3 rather fantastic videos to get through. Now, Sean James Cameron has an interesting feature because it's pumpkin season, and he wants to know if you're very good at guessing the weight. Let's see if you're able to do this. Sean, take it away.
So I'm busy harvesting my pumpkins this year. They're small ones. Look at this one here. But the really heavy one is the one that I can't even get out of the barrow. So I'm going to have to bring a weighing scales down and have a competition. What do you think? What do you think the weight of this one is? And if you guess it spot on, you can win it. Obviously, you'll have to come and collect it.
Blimey, I've no idea what that would weigh. It looked quite. It looked to me like maybe 2.5 stone. I don't know what you weigh it in these days. You can't weigh it in kilometres, obviously. I would say about 2 to 3 stone, something like that. But I couldn't give you any more exact like that. Wow. Rami was saying 75 pounds. Now, I wouldn't know what 75 pounds is. How many ounces is that? John B says they are whoppers. I thought they were lemons, says Ramiboo too. Absolutely huge, great big things. The fact that it's 35 kilograms, says Nigel Sadler. I don't know what kilogram. See, I couldn't work out what a kilogram is. Stone, I could work out. I'm thinking a couple of stone, at least 2 or 3 stones. Great video, thanks very much. Bernie says, sensible Paul, but I must go into the little room after the sound of the running water. Fair enough. It depends if it's full of just water or air, or whether it's, because the water will make it heavy. Mark Burgess is getting 25 kilograms. 4 stone, 3 pound. There we are, 4 stone. Yeah, see, I reckon it's 2 to 3 stone. A stone, I think, is 40 pounds. All right, so I'm saying what? 2 stone is 80 pounds, so about 100 pounds. It's full of petrol. Full of petrol. Oh, okay. 81 pounds, says Ray of Hope. We're all guessing. Sean, I hope you're going to tell us. 14 pounds is 1 stone. Oh, 14 pounds is a stone. So 28 pounds is 2 stone. Ron Langley is guessing 3 stones. So I'm saying 2.5. A stone is 14 pounds, says Audrey Forbes. We're waiting now for Sean to give us the right answer. Can you tell us how heavy it is? Or do you know? Do you actually know? I hope you do know after all this. No stone in a pumpkin, just seeds. Yeah, it's not a peach. Fair enough. No seeds in the centre, says Mark Burgess. Nigel Sadler's guessing 16 ounces to a pound, 14 pound to a stone. So, Sean James Cameron will be weighing it. Oh, we'll be weighing it on Friday, so we'll send a video then. It broke the scales today, so we need better scales. Right. Oh, okay. So what we want to know is how heavy were your scales that you weighed it on to give us a chance? Has anybody got anywhere, is it over 2 stone? That's all I want to know. Is it over 2 stone? Old or new money? Sorry, meant there is seeds. It's plastic, says Linda Kane. Is it plastic? That'd be interesting to find out. How many stone is it? I'll be at the Bond movie on Friday, says Nigel Sadler. Oh, you sold out. Sold out. Should have stayed with the Vobes show. But come back and give us a report on what you think of the Bond movie. Tell us if you think it's good. Be interested to know. John B says that it's a hollow pumpkin. Is it a hollow pumpkin? How heavy are your stones? Not your stones, your scales. What do your scales go up to? Did it break? Where does the scale start from the scale that broke? He's not going to tell us. Sean is being very circumspect. Okay, not to worry. Friday. We'll wait till Friday to find out how heavy that is. Meanwhile, ladies and gentlemen, next on our show, Jonathan Fox. I hope he's there now and he's managed to get the kids to sleep because he's next on the list. at 9:15, he has got a guitar. But is it a Spanish guitar or is it an English guitar, a classic guitar? Is it a French guitar? Is it an Italian guitar? Is it a Japanese guitar? Is it an American guitar? Is it a Norwegian guitar? Is it just a very bad cold and just a bit of catarrh? Who knows? Jonathan Fox does. Let's find out.
Oh. Good start. Hello, Richard and Julia. I don't know why I think I'm good enough to do this, but anyway, here I am. I had some nice comments last week, so there we are. Perhaps people might regret that. But there was some interesting conversations I noticed, apart from some very nice things that people said. Thank you. About the difference between classical guitar and Spanish guitar. Well, this is a classical guitar. It's got nylon strings. The top 3 strings are nylon, but they're wound in like bronze or some metallic material. But they are nylon. They're all nylon strings on a classical guitar. And the other thing that tells you it's classical guitar, well, it will have a solid wooden top, but the shape and size, it's very much a figure of 8 shape and the size of it, and there's no cutout, which you sometimes see on acoustic guitars. So yeah, classical guitar. However, it's also a Spanish guitar. The difference between classical guitar and Spanish guitar is the music that you're playing. You're playing classical music or you're playing Spanish music. So, but in fairness, this modern guitar evolved in Spain, and really it's fair to say that Spanish guitar music is what the guitar was made for. I think it's the epitome of guitar music. Anyway, so I'm going to have a go at a piece of Spanish music, and I'll introduce that in a moment. But just to mention, I was struggling with sound volume. So you'll be interested, Richard, bought myself a microphone. I don't know what make it is. It was, cheap enough. You won't be impressed. But I've had a little go, and it does the job. So that plugs into my phone, would you believe? Right, give me a minute and I'll get ready to play a piece. Okay, that took a bit longer than I thought. The piece I'm going to attempt is Malaluena. I believe it's pronounced, written by Ernesto Luciona, who was from Cuba apparently, but anyway, this is a very well-known Spanish piece, and you can see what I've got here is the music, but it's also got what us guitarists call tabula, which I think Julia might be familiar with, and I've had to kind of cut and paste it a little bit and kind of put a few notes on it to try and pick my way through it. So there we are. I'm going to attempt this piece for you now.
We got some talented people watching this show, have we not? And contributing. How marvellous was that? There we are. I was transformed into the hot Madrid sun, looking up at the orange tree as a very beautiful, dark-skinned, tanned girl was dancing there in front of me, and a big man with a droopy moustache was eyeing me very carefully that I didn't touch and play with his daughter. That was magnificent. Thank you so much, John Fox. That was lovely. How wonderful it is to be able to pick up a musical instrument as opposed to a medical instrument and pluck it and play it with your finger. Not so good if you picked up a scalpel, obviously. No, that's fantastic. We look forward to hearing another one of your pieces. That would be superb. So nice. And it's also good to give you challenges. I believe that a couple of people have made some suggestions. So Ray of Hope, we have hopefully on Friday with maybe a thing, which would be marvellous. And next week, possibly, John, another piece to transform us into pastures foreign would be lovely. Thank you very much for that, John. Meanwhile, you know him most for climbing the mountains. Yes, Colonel Cragratty, as you know, clambers up ropes, has no fear of heights. He defies it all whilst we are there going all green and yellow-bellied and thinking, oh my God, we're going to fall at any minute and throw up. And he defies all of that. Well, we're not doing any of that. But cogs and I can't remember what the other word was now. I didn't write it down. But we're going into the world of steampunk, ladies and gentlemen. Cogs and steam and mechanical this and all of that. Fantastic stuff. Colonel Cragratty has brought us a wonderful slideshow of fascinating stuff connected with the world of steampunk. Take it away, Colonel. How about that, ladies and gentlemen? Isn't it? It seems to me that steampunk is just an excuse for absolutely brilliant nostalgia of a whole load of different eras all combined. It does seem wonderful. And as Colonel Craig Ratty said there, I noticed in the comments, we should start a Vobes steampunk society. Not sure how well that would go down well, but certainly the nostalgia element. The Milestones looks like a fantastic museum to go to. I must go there and do some videoing. It would be fantastic to explore more. Brilliant stuff. Thank you so much for that, Pete, or Colonel Craig Ratty, I should say, with your slideshow demonstration there. Big thank you also to David Keel for your video this evening. Bernie, of course, in Siddlescombe. Sean James Cameron with the pumpkin that we need to guess. John Fox on the guitar. And as I said before, Colonel Craig Ratty, absolutely fantastic. Sorry nobody rang in. People have been very shy. It's so nice when people do call in, although I have been a little bit mad and hopefully entertaining in tonight's show at the beginning. Thank you for all your comments and taking part. To the lovely Julia and Judith, who have been moderating. Mostly we don't need to, but every now and again somebody comes in and just causes this lovely little group of people here a little bit of mischief. And it's nice when that doesn't happen. I don't think it happened tonight, and it was marvellous to be here entertaining you midweek. The next time I'm on my live show here, I will be a free man. Yes, tomorrow is the last day of my government mandated lock up because I have been a bad boy and need to be locked up, of course. That is the last day of it. Then Friday I'm a free man. But as I said at the beginning of the show, unlikely now that I will get in my van and go anywhere because of the shortages of fuel. So it may well be that we get some videos of Worthing and the surrounding areas, anywhere I can go on foot, just so that I can conserve what small amount of diesel I have in my van. I will need to take the van out for a little exercise. I might drop round to see Julia and have a cup of tea or something, but that's probably the extent of my travelling. Anyway, that's it for this show. Thank you so much for the videos. If you'd like to submit a video, then please send them to me, richard@vobes.com. Send via wetransfer.com, information in the description. Have a wonderful time. Most likely the Bold Explorer walk will be cancelled again due to bad weather coming up and, of course, the fuel crisis, if we should call it that. And we will try and rearrange it for the end of October. Maybe a Halloween walk instead might be appropriate. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the show. Thank you very much. Lovely to see you nice, as somebody famous once said, with a toupee and a generation gap between him and everybody else. But from me, thank you for joining me. Take care. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye for now. Bye-bye.